Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm Donna Whyte. As you know, welcome to Witness to History on this gorgeous, gorgeous Sunday afternoon, June 13th, 2021. Here we are with longer days, lots of sunshine, and just the right amount of rain to keep everything around us lush, in bloom, and very green. Thank goodness. I know it's hard to be inside on a day like today, but you will be so happy you're here with our guest, Sam Hooper. Hi, Sam.
Hey, Donna, how are you there?
Good, good, good. And I'd like to offer a warm hello to you too, Mrs. Hooper. I know that you're on the line as well. Hello, Mrs. Hooper.
You and to everyone, and thank you.
Yes, yes. Hope you're all doing well. Everybody. In just a second, we're going to go on a wonderful journey around the world with Sam as he shares a brilliant musical life with us. As most of us know, Witness to History is one of the many ways we spend each month enriching our lives by getting to know our moorland neighbors right here in Shaker Heights. First, I'd just like to thank a few folks, which I do every month. I'm here the second Sunday of each month. I want to thank Lee and Kevin Kay, the city of Shaker Heights, especially Colin and Kamala Lewis, and Megan Hayes, who preserves all of these histories in our Shaker Library. So let's keep that in mind. So if you know of anyone who happened to miss Witness to History, these interviews are going to be stored in our Shaker Library forever, forever. And so, and of course, I'd like to thank John Dutton for being here with us all the time. We would not be able to do this if it were not for John. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Here we go. Here we go. Hello again, Sam.
Hey, Donna.
Yeah, thank you for being our guest this evening on Witness to History. I want to just share that Sam has quite a story, quite a story. He was featured, of course, in Shaker Life recently, and I'm sure that was just a touch of what it is that you're going to be able to hear this evening. And because there will be quite a bit of information shared, if you would like to post a comment or a question in the chat, please feel free to do so. What we usually do is take about a half hour and I have a conversation with Sam. We're pretty convinced that we're not going to finish our conversation in a half hour. So I would like to just share with everyone that if you have questions or want to make comments, please share them in the chat and then we'll still have time for questions. So here we go. Where are we going to start? Who is this young person here? Let's just start from the beginning, Sam. Let's go to the very beginning. Here we are. When did you move to Shaker Heights?
1964, 65. Yeah, I think 64. Because these pictures here are in 65.
Okay. Yeah. And here we have this beautiful baby picture. Love baby pictures.
1.5 months old. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And is this on your porch on Pennington?
Yeah, that's on the porch in the backyard on Pennington. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, bring it
on. Yeah, the one on the porch is my dad and my grandmother sitting there, my sister Paula. I'm not sure who the other woman is, but I'm holding our dog Chubby in both.
Okay.
Pictures.
Okay. Okay. All right. Take us a little bit further into your journey of your early years here in Moreland and even before. More baby pictures.
Yeah, the first place I remember living was on East 115th Street, Whyte Park area.
Okay.
And, yes, that's where most of these pictures. Some of them were before then even, but that's the place I remember living. So I remember living in two houses, that house and this house.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. And when you moved to Moreland, your elementary school was?
Moreland. I moved to Moreland, but I was at Rosedale Elementary in Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
And then we moved here, and I started at Moreland in second grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just had to cross the street, pretty much. And here you are. Where are you here with Santa Claus? Bring back some memories.
Hallie's was Hallie's 7th floor. You for you to turn the key. Yeah, Hallie's.
Some of us remember
all
Hallie's.
that good stuff. Yeah.
I think there's still a Hallie's building, but it's not the way it used to be.
No, that's me
For
and my sister
sure.
Paula. Yeah, yeah, that's before Emily came along, I believe, or she had just arrived and was not running around yet.
Okay. And I love this cake that you have here with your horse on the front. I don't know if I noticed that before. That's great. All righty.
Yeah, that was my early career ambition, to be a cowboy. Yes.
Okay. Okay, Sam, we need to talk. I had some of those thoughts too, believe it or not. All righty. Okay, moving right along. And we'll go, further through your youth. Here we are.
Okay.
Boy Scouts.
Moreland Elementary School. We got the Boy Scout trip when we were in high school, or junior high school, maybe even. My buddy Warren Taylor right next to me. I think that's some other friends, Glenn in the background. Yeah, that was the summer that Neil Armstrong landed on the moon.
Mm.
And one of our Boy Scout trips, I'm not sure it was that one. We went to Beaumont Scout Camp every summer. But we were at Fort Meade in Washington, D.C., or Maryland, wherever is that, in that area, watching Neil Armstrong land on the moon on TV for that scout trip. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, we had seen the date on there, August 69. Remember when they used to put the date on the picture so we could actually remember when our photos were taken? That's wonderful.
Yes.
That's great. And this picture of you, this is a great picture from Moreland Elementary School. My first reaction was how imbalanced it was. I was like, why are there so many girls in your class? And then I realized you all had bows on. So
yeah, it must have been some singing thing we were doing.
Okay.
Something.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people still look the same.
Oh, great. Great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And in France, you're still young at this point.
Okay, yeah, that says France, but that's the trip to France. And the Shaker had a opportunity for the kids who studied French to go to France, and then for the kids who studied Spanish to go to Spain that time. So I was studying French, so I went to France, but we had a little layover during just like one afternoon in Amsterdam. So that's where that picture is. That's in the canals in Amsterdam on the way to Paris. Yes.
Great. And that's one of the things that, for those of us who are in Shaker, who have had children in Shaker schools, we do know that students have opportunities to study abroad. In your case, it was because of the languages that you took. In some cases, it's when students are in the band or orchestra.
And now, yeah.
They'll continue that. Hopefully 2021. We'll see what happens next. 2022, sorry. Maybe we'll see what happens. Boy, time is flying by a little bit too fast for me. All righty. Okay, in your early years, and here we are still as a young person, high school.
Yeah, so I kind of multitasked in high school. I played football my sophomore and senior years. And then I was also playing guitar and playing clarinet. I played clarinet in the concert band and the marching band when I wasn't doing football. And the middle picture there, right above, that's the band we had called Show Nuff. That was the one concert we did before one of our friends' parents kind of broke it up. But that's my friend Melissa Roth with the long blonde hair. Andre Craig is playing drums, and Frank Williams is playing bass. And I'm not sure, that looks like it may be my mom sitting up there with their earrings on, but I'm not sure. Okay. But that was at Heights Christian Church. And if you fast forward to the 40th reunion pic right there, that is Frank Williams on the right again. So that's him at the 40th reunion.
Oh, nice.
So that's really cool.
That's wonderful. So you started off with clarinet. You had shared that with me. You started off with clarinet. Tell us about your interest in music and those early years.
I was just kind of always interested in all sorts of music. definitely. It was always like a thread that kind of went through. Fourth grade is when I started clarinet. And I think I got into guitar around like junior high school, and played in the band, had lessons, clarinet lessons with Mr. Tiniano from Woodbury, and just was really kind of multitasking with all that. And we had piano lessons, we had theory lessons. We were very connected with the Music Settlement, the Institute of Music, all that. So
Right.
we were always going to lessons.
All righty. And you said that your family, of course, very supportive of what you were doing in music. All of you were playing music. And so you're interested in guitar because that's, how many of us know you as a vocalist and a guitarist. So you said your father took you to an event that helped you even be more inspired about the guitar, to a movie.
Oh, yeah. Woodstock. Woodstock.
Yeah.
Which I still try to see whenever it comes on. It's a very, very influential movie, and we were so excited that we were gonna get to see the festival on the big screen. I think it was at Severance Theater at the time that we went, and I had no idea, didn't even think that they were going to come out with an album, of the movie later. So I snuck a tape recorder in there.
Okay, everybody, you hear that? All right.
Okay. Recorded it right there in the theater. And Alvin Lee, 10 Years After, The Who, Jimi Hendrix, so many people who were influential from then on. I saw 10 Years After later here at Cleveland Public Hall.
Yeah. Now, how did you picked up the guitar? Did you take lessons? Did you teach yourself? How did all that get started?
I taught myself some, but I definitely had a bunch of teachers. The most memorable ones were Tom Letizia, who still plays here in the area. I play with his band sometimes. He runs a opioid awareness festival that we played the summer before last down in Kent. And so stayed in touch with him. Another guy was really influential was Don Banks, and he was a real jazz guy, had really great ears, and really got into triads and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, and then graduated from Shaker High School. Take us a little bit on your journey, your college journey.
Okay, so I originally wanted to go to Berklee College of Music in Boston, but my dad was like, you should go somewhere where they have more than just music, So I started at Wittenberg University. These two pictures here. As a band, I was in a Wittenberg horn band, and then one of my professors at Wittenberg. And yeah, Wittenberg was a great place, a small, liberal arts college down in Springfield, Ohio. And one of the cool things about Wittenberg is that we had a friend. My dad, I guess, worked with her father here at the post office, but she had a brother who is still playing a jazz drummer, Greg Bandy. Come through and play at a place called Jilly's in Dayton. Go out and check him out, and also saw like Tony Williams' Lifetime down there. Met Joe Pass down there. Just really deep, wonderful stuff at the time that was going on. And but then I kind of realized that I was studying music. I was combining music and business.
Okay.
But didn't really have any courses that really dealt with specifically the music business itself.
Okay.
When I came home on a break, I discovered that my buddy, again, Warren Taylor, who lived up the street, he was going to the University of Miami in Florida. And so I looked at that catalog, and they had a music merchandising program, which was really one of the first music business programs in the country. And so I got my act together and my audition tape and all that sort of stuff. And I transferred down there and had never seen the place before till I got off the plane and all those beautiful palm trees and everything. But it was a good move. It was a good move.
Okay, very good. So you took a little bit more time to finish school to follow your dream.
Yeah, they accepted all my credits, but a lot of them didn't apply to the major, so it took an extra 2 years.
Okay. Yeah. Paid off.
Yeah.
Hey,
Regrets.
paid off. So then you came on back home soon after you finished school, early 80s?
Yeah, I came home like 81.
Mhm.
And yeah, you had a picture of my dad in the previous one. He passed in 82.
Mm.
And that year that he passed, I was working as a music merchandiser here in town for RCA Records.
Mm-hmm.
And which meant I had to go to record stores all over Northeast Ohio area to set up promotions and also do displays. That's one of my displays in the window there at the BNS Record Mart. And that's one of our clients. I think her name was Beverly, who owned a record store up here at Lee and Harvard. And you know, we had to schmooze with the record store owners, especially the ones that would, you know, report our albums as we would like them to for Billboard and whatever, you know. So it was kind of a coordinated effort along with the sales team and the radio promotion team. Oh, one cool thing I didn't mention to you that I got to do when I was doing that gig, I got to go when War came to town. I got to, me and the woman who had my job had moved up to Marianne Eggleston had moved up to radio promotion. So she and I rode with War to all these different radio stations all over town when they were here to do their show. I think at the front row they were playing. So riding in the limo the whole day, and it was really cool. Yeah.
Right. You say, okay, I like this. I like this. But you know, I have a note here. It says you did not want another job like this.
No, because that was the fun part, but that was like kind of
Okay.
but you know, the most of it was you know, I'm putting up posters, you know, doors to all hours of the night, you know, so there was no time to really like, you know, put a band together or play music. You know, it was one of those jobs where you could really like never do enough. And so when it kind of ended, I was like, okay, I want to make a shift here.
Okay.
And so I shifted to teaching and performing and doing some other little things. I sold subscriptions for the Cleveland Orchestra for a while too.
Oh, okay.
I made some really good music connections through that to this day. Like Tony Kuda, who teaches at the high school. I think he still teaches, or maybe just retired from the high school, bass player. But I met him on that gig. And,
Okay.
so, yeah.
Okay. Well, you made good connections there. That's always good. You're still in the music business, and you started teaching.
Oh yeah, and the other thing, things are occurring to me. When I finally did move to Boston, first day, I forget the guy's name now, but the guy who had been like the general manager for the Cleveland Orchestra, I saw him because he had moved to Boston Symphony, and I saw him that first day when I got there. So I felt like that was a good sign.
Yes, yes, yes. So you went to Berkeley.
Yeah, so like I was here about 6 years and played in a bunch of different bands, including Nightbridge, and which I'm back in now. And the Dream Team we had, and I taught guitar at Dick Lure's guitar studio on Cedar and Lee. I'm still connected with some people from there, like Kevin Richards, who I work with at the Roots of American Music. But then, yeah, I decided, you know, I need to bump things up another level and moved to Boston. And actually, Berkeley, by that time, Berkeley had started their songwriting program.
Oh, okay.
So that's really why I moved there to get into that song, because I really wanted to focus on the songwriting. And yeah, I moved there in 2008. Yeah, so the picture on the right here, me and my friend Pamela doing I think it was a Democratic rally of some sort that Dennis Kucinich spoke at in Boston.
In Boston, okay.
Yeah, I think he
was moving around.
Running for president again or something like that.
Probably.
Yeah, and this is my band, the Elders I had with these great guys, Jonathan Sanson and Doug Ray, and Craig Turner was the original drummer we had for that. So yeah, that was a band that kind of, with that band, our whole thing was like, it was called the Elders. So we had this thing where we were, you know, I don't know, did we ever really do this? But the concept was that we would like come on stage as like, you know, really old fogey guys and like rip off the coats and drop the canes and then, you know, rock out with some blues and stuff.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, we played a lot of blues and had a great time. Blues rock, you know.
And you know, when you're talking about some of these groups that were around in the 70s and the 80s, and folks are still playing, you know, and you all called yourselves the elders, folks are still rocking.
Yes,
Definitely, for sure.
so funny to think about it now. Yeah.
So, you know, you had mentioned that there were a couple of sisters there at Berkeley when you were there, the Hathaways.
Oh yeah, Layla Hathaway and her sister Kenya were there
Mhm.
at the time. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And so it was great to hear them. They had a thing every semester called the Singers Showcase,
Hmm.
highlighted some of the best singers at Berkeley, and I won one in particular. I remember where they got to sing together, and it was just amazing because the tones of their voices are very different. Like has a real smoky thing, and
Mhm.
Kenya has more of an edge to what she does.
It'd be wonderful to hear
So,
them together.
and it's great to hear them both, see them both being so successful now. You may not see Kenya, know that you're seeing Kenya as much, but she does a lot of the award shows and stuff, doing background vocals.
Hmm.
So yeah.
We'll have to look them up and see if we find any any songs we can hear them sing together. I love Layla Hathaway.
Yeah, oh, yeah, she's awesome. Yeah.
So you started winning some songwriting awards, and then it took you out of the country, right?
Yeah, I had won what they called, it was well, they had a big songwriting contest, but
Mhm.
they also had several songwriter performer contests. So I won several of the songwriter performer contests, and actually one of the guys who also won one of those is I'm thinking about Derek Sivers, who started CD Baby, and
Mm.
which is a music distribution platform that's super successful. And then he like sold it and moved to Singapore, and you know, but also that was see, the songwriter performer ones were like held in more of the smaller, you know, concert rooms around the campus, but the big songwriter concert was held in the Berkeley Performance Center.
Mhm.
So the year I won that one in 1990, I would have gotten to perform my song at that show, but a couple of my buddies from Japan invited me to go play there because
Okay.
they had these concerts in their hometowns, these benefit concerts in their hometowns that they set up, and there was a big draw to bring, you know, American performers to those. So it was like an extended spring break. We did like a 2 weeks in Okinawa, Japan. No, not Okinawa yet. Okinawa was later. Utsunomiya and Nagaoka, Japan, in
Mm.
1990. Yeah.
So this was the beginning of your journey abroad.
Yeah, yeah, musically, yeah,
Um,
definitely,
yes.
definitely. That was a big year for that.
Okay. Okay. Start taking us on this journey.
Okay, so that was a big year. So I was still
Yeah.
at Berkeley at that time, and so I finished the songwriting program that spring, and then I got a call from a buddy of mine who played drums, and he had worked with this woman in the center, Ju Ming Ying, because she had come to Boston to study. Well, she was already a big star in China. Like she had been groomed like since by like the government since she was like a kid to be like I mean, she was super talented and singer, dancer, everything, you know. So she was a huge star when she came to Boston, but she studied at Berkeley and at Boston Conservatory really simultaneously because she was working on her just absorbing American music, you know, absorbing jazz and country and rock and whatever, and but also getting
Is this her in this picture on the left?
yeah, that's her holding the flowers in the front in the center, yeah.
Okay.
Ju Ming Ying, and and dancing, studying dancing at the Boston Conservatory. So I was lucky enough to be invited when she had this tour. It was weird because the tour was actually had supposed to happen the year before, and I wouldn't have been involved. But the Tiananmen Square happened in '89, so they pushed everything back a year. So I was able to do it, and we toured about 3 months, about 14 different cities, about 30 concerts, and all of them were, you know, big sports arenas. Like in the smaller cities, you might, you know, get maybe 6,000-7,000 people, but in like Shanghai, we performed in front of 17,000 people, like two nights in a row.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so it was awesome. And you know, since she was so
Feel? How does that feel? Just
oh, it was awesome. It,
awesome.
oh, yeah, and I had a wireless. There was a part of the show. We were just a part of a whole 2-hour show.
Mhm.
So the rest of it she did the tracks, but the American part she did with the live American band. And then each one of us kind of got featured on something, you know, during that set. And I had a wireless, so I was running around playing Sweet Home Chicago and
Mhm.
getting the crowd involved and everything. And so yeah, there were times because we carried our own stage and lights.
Mhm.
And it was like a 50-person entourage that
Wow.
traveled together. And actually, the Chinese military carried the equipment from city to city
Oh,
for us.
oh,
Yeah.
nice, nice, nice. And write-ups that you have and locks. I love your locks.
Well,
It's
yeah,
a different look. It's a different
the
look.
locks, yeah, that came a lot later. That was when so that was 1990.
Okay.
So in 2004, I got the opportunity to again. It was weird because there was something kind of holding things up. SARS. You hear about what's going on with COVID now.
Mhm.
Back then it was SARS.
Yes.
And
Uh-huh.
so there was a promoter in Boston, Planetary Group, who invited us to do this gig at the House of Blues and Jazz in Shanghai.
Mhm.
But we had to kind of wait till SARS blew over before they would like really make it a reality.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
once SARS kind of blew over, then we did it like January, February of 2004. 3 months, 6 nights a week.
Mhm.
Uh, so yeah, it was exciting. And again, um, with the Ju Ming Ying thing, we were treated first class in every city because she was like such a huge star. And here in Shanghai, the club, really made sure, and the promoters there, the partners with the Planetary Group we had in Shanghai, made sure that we got, a lot of good press, and
Nice.
we were really, treated, extremely well, and to give us the place to stay, with walking distance from the club,
Oh, nice.
and
It
yeah.
don't mean a thing. I see that and I want to sing. It don't mean a thing. Two
You
hours.
got that
Okay,
song.
that's enough.
Go ahead.
That's great. So even before you were in Shanghai in 2004, you had indicated to me that you were at Harvard for several years. You're up in
Yeah,
Boston.
yeah. I was there. I worked there for like 12 years. Yeah,
Hmm. Okay.
I was in the pretty much the development and records department, alumni records development. You know,
Okay.
it's
But
mainly it was a non stressful job because I was just mainly database stuff, but it enabled me to be able to keep the music going. And there was one point where I was there long enough that I was able to take a 2-month leave of absence to do
Mhm.
a gig in Switzerland.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was cool at the Eden Hotel in Arosa, Switzerland. And
Wow.
playing 5 nights a week with a singer named Poochie Jones in New York, and the band was from Boston. We called it, so yeah, Poochie Jones and the band Boys from Boston.
Okay. Coochie Judge. Okay, that's a mouthful. All right. So take us back to Shanghai. You said you had your first contract in 2004.
Hmm.
About your recording contracts and the
Well,
contract.
we met. This guy in the red shirt was our buddy, Mr. Gordon Stevenson, who became one of our biggest fans. He's from Scotland,
Mm.
and he was in town, like a lot of other international people there doing business, But he was a songwriter and just a musician, and really was connected with a lot of musicians. And he had was so enamored with us that he wanted us to record one of his songs. And so once we kind of got that rolling, we're like, well, if we're gonna do it, let's just do a CD, And he was okay with that. So he helped us. We went to Shanghai Broadcast Studios and recorded the CD in Shanghai, and with my buddy Jordan Scanella on bass and Akira Nakamura on drums. We went as a trio those first two contracts, and yeah, we recorded the CD there, and I had it remastered here in the States. And yeah, it's called East. And I think there's I think you have the CD cover at some point. But the guy on the bottom here, the Chinese gentleman, is my buddy, Mr. Lin Dong Fu. He was the owner of the club. He is the owner of the club. He is a famous Chinese actor, movies and plays and everything. And he's also a painter. He's developed his new, well, I guess he's been doing it all along, but he's really started to develop his painting skills. So he's I think he has a new exhibition of his paintings of jazz artists, jazz and blues artists. So a really creative guy, and well loved in the community. That club, where the first two times we played there, it was in one part of the city in like the French concession area, and then the Chinese government like took the whole block over. So when we went back, so we did three contracts there. The second one was I think 5 months, 6 nights a week, and then the third one I think was 3 months, 3 or 4. And but that one was in the new location on the Bund, right on the river there, in the financial district. So yeah.
Right. You were in China for a while. You were in Shanghai for a while.
Yeah, it's kind of like a second home. Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of like all roads lead from Shanghai. I was thinking about a friend I saw yesterday. I only know that friend because of our mutual friend who I met in the Chinese class. After my first time in China, I was inspired to take Chinese for a little bit at Harvard, because I had the perks of working at Harvard. So I made friends there, and that has expanded my whole social network around the world. It's kind of like a lot of it based around being in Shanghai for that time, because like I said, there were people there from all over the world, and musicians there from all over the world, and people working there from all over the world.
Okay. You see something here?
I'm just looking at Jordan's expression.
Oh, okay.
That's Jordan with his mouth open, our bass player.
Okay.
That's our buddy Lou with the hat on. Lou Morency from Detroit, he became our best buddy because he's a real blues fan, plays a little bit of harmonica. And we'd have these jams, he played the jams and stuff. We'd have a jam every week. And but he had come to Shanghai kind of disappointed, because his job had sent him there at the time when he had some tickets to see B.B. King, and he was going to miss it. And so when he found us and found out that he could get some blues in Shanghai, he was just real excited. And so we became great friends. We're still good friends to this day. He's been here to visit us. And this was our first trip with that group of folks to the Great Wall of China. We went to Beijing and then went to the Great Wall. But yeah, that was fun. And so the other picture with Jordan and I and the guy in the red shirt, and the guy right in the middle, right next to Jordan, is a guy named Sui Jin, who's a very famous Chinese rock star. And so he became friends with us. He was friends with Lin Dong Fu, and we saw him in Shanghai, and we went to visit him in Beijing. And the guy in the red shirt is his regular guitar player, Eddie. And so it's good to hang out with those guys and become friends with them. And
okay. And I'm going to ask Emmy Graham to you and ask this question, because I'm not going to do it right.
Oh no, I'm in trouble.
What'd you say, Graham?
I studied Chinese with Sam, so I said "Ni hao, ni hui zhongwen ma," which means "Hi, do you speak Chinese?"
Okay, thanks for translating, and thanks for saying that. I was not going to attempt.
You put that in the chat, huh? You put that in the chat for her? Oh my goodness. Hey, Emmy.
So even from China, you told me that you took a little detour to Finland for a little bit.
Well, yeah, that happened separately. Well, here, I'll do this. the first time my band went to China in 2004, we finished the contract in Shanghai, and then we went to Beijing and played there. And I don't know if I sent John the picture, but we did a clinic at a school, which is like a school similar to Berkeley there, called the Beijing MIDI School. And then we went to Okinawa, where our drummer Akira was from, and played in Okinawa, Japan. And so the Finland thing came later, after I came back to Boston.
Oh,
but it was still a China-Cheese connection. My buddy Michael Abaka and his co-worker Sirku from Finland, they were some of our regulars. Whenever they came to Shanghai, they'd be at the club. They'd be like, you know, you got to come to Finland. Like, you got to come to Finland. I'm like, okay, you make that happen. Yeah. So finally they invited me to play the blues festival in Finland.
Oh, nice.
So that was
And these photos are there? Are these in Finland?
I don't think. Oh God, I don't think. No, because no.
Okay, they're just more. Okay.
I got so many pictures. Oh my God, this is such a yeah.
Okay, so
dive to find pictures and realizing that all of them are not where they're supposed to be. But yeah. There are pictures of me in Finland on my Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are pictures of me in Finland on my Facebook.
Everybody has to take time and study Sam's Facebook page. I'm sure it's quite a.
You may be able to just go into Facebook and put Sam Hooper Finland, and it may just come up. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So your journey then takes you to. Now I have to let everybody know that we had this wonderful conversation. Sam and I had this wonderful conversation. I had to go back and make sure that I had all your travels in order. All right.
Yes.
So let's go to LA now. All right. Back here in America.
Okay.
All right. You spent a little bit of time there. What was that experience? And then where did you go after that?
Yeah, I left Boston in 2008 and then moved to LA and drove across country to do that. It was quite an experience. And initially stayed with my good friend Dawn Lewis out there from University of Miami, and started to try to get some things happening out there. And I was there for like four years. And so again, the Shanghai connection. These pictures with my acoustic guitar were taken outside of LA. The one with the fires is right on the beach. Somebody had a fire on the beach, these bonfires on the beach. And but the photographer, Fred Balliard, I knew from Shanghai because he was I think a flight attendant. He would come to Shanghai, he would come to our club, and then we had taken some pictures there. And but when he came to LA, he gave me a call, said, let's do a photo shoot. So we spent like all evening hanging out, taking pictures. Yeah, so it was really cool, really cool.
Great pictures.
And then here on the bottom left was the LA CD release party for the Live in Shanghai album. And left to right is a good friend, John Brahaney. He wrote the book called The Craft and Business of Songwriting. I met him in Boston originally. He had done some workshops at Berkeley. That's his wife, Joanne Brahaney, next to him. John unfortunately passed away a couple years ago, and but his influence is still very much felt. They were just so incredibly supportive to me out there, and for me when I needed whatever. And Joanne is like a little spiritual guru. And whenever I talk to her, it's like very enlightening. And so I stay in touch with her. And the drummer with the yellow shirt is a guy named Max Zimanovic. Now, when I went last time I was actually in Shanghai was 2010. I went for the House of Blues and Jazz had their 15th anniversary. And each week of that month, they featured a performer who had been very popular at the club. So they couldn't bring my whole band, but they brought me to play with the house band.
Okay.
And, so Max was the drummer in the house band at that time. And he's now touring with Miranda Lambert. And so there's Jordan, our bass player in the white shirt, Todd Marston was a keyboard player. He played with us on the third contract. We took four piece. So Todd was a keyboard player, and that's a friend of his that came. This is at Westwood Music in LA. It's a music store, but they had a nice back room where they had concerts and clinics and that sort of thing.
Mm.
So yeah.
Then after that, and we have, believe it or not, about 15 minutes. So
okay,
we're going on some cruises now.
Oh.
All right. So after LA, take us on your travels on ships around the world.
Okay, I worked for two different cruise lines, Princess and P&O Cruises. Princess out of LA and P&O out of Southampton, England. And the band at the top is the first band I was with called Groove Line with John, the black bald head guy who's the lead singer. And Frank, oh man, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the other guy's name right now, but he, the cool thing about the cruise ship life is the traveling. You know, I mean, the music was okay. I mean, it was good. It was challenging to be able to have to play a lot of stuff quickly and all that sort of thing. But where you get to go was, you know, during the day you have, for the most part, unless you're at sea where you're playing by the pool or something, you have the time to yourself. And so then the other band on the right, on the bottom left, is In the Pocket, which was started by the drummer from the previous band. And so yeah, so those are the two bands I was in. But in the middle, you'll see this was in Malaga, Spain. And the guy in the black shirt owned the little pub that we went to just randomly to hang out as we were walking around. And that's the home of Picasso, Malaga, Spain, the home of Picasso. And so we were talking to the guy and told him we were musicians and everything. I told him I do some blues and everything. And he said, "Oh, we have a blues singer here." And so he called her up and had her come down to meet us, you know. So she's from LA.
Okay.
And so we taught Kat Pearson, and so we stayed in touch. And so years later, she came to LA, and I put a band together for her to do a show in Hermosa Beach, I believe. But yeah, connections like that everywhere.
All right. So where are you in this top picture?
The top picture is in the Isle of Capri, off of Naples, Italy. You take a ferry boat from Naples out to the Isle of Capri.
Okay.
I didn't have a whole lot of time. It was like you had to climb up this huge hill to get to where this cool little restaurant was, and everything. I mean, small streets and everything, just really quaint. And I wish I'd had the time to just hang out there like all day. It was so beautiful, so beautiful. Yeah.
So where are we with our pictures? I want to make sure. I was going to say I have this list of all these different places. Yeah, tell us about this.
Okay, so since I've been back in Cleveland since December 2012, I've been at different projects. Now on the my left here is Vernon Jones Blues Cartel. This is a benefit we did for the Democratic Party in Akron.
Okay.
And, it's Reese Pearl. It's Vernon Jones with the hat on and the red tie. Very, working, popular blues guy around Cleveland. He passed away a couple years ago, unfortunately. And Reese Pearl is in the blue dress. We are planning a show together come up in September. And holding her real tight is Cleveland's own Jim Brown. So he said a few words at the event, and it was really cool.
Nice.
The middle photo is Sam Hooper Group at Happy Dog at the Euclid Tavern. That was a time when Dave Green was playing drums with us and Sakait Baksar on keyboards.
All right, I have a question here for you from Carmela. Is
Okay.
blues your favorite genre of music? If not, what and why?
I like a lot of stuff, really. I mean, it kind of shifts. I mean, blues I kind of always gravitate toward, but I'm a real funk head. You know, if it's funky, I'm there, definitely. And then I have a whole side of me that likes a lot of ballady type stuff, or even some country type stuff. You know, like it was weird because my dad was really into country music, and I didn't really take a shine to it until he passed away, and then I was like, oh, you know, that started really kind of getting into it.
Yeah, country music,
Yeah,
good music,
I
good
like
music.
country. Yeah.
I have to tell you for those of us who know that the Larchmere has a porch fest. I don't know if that's our next picture or what, but of course we share information about what's going on with our moorland neighbors. And I said, well, I want to drive down Larchmere because I hear Sam Hooper is playing. It was a few years ago. It was drizzling outside, so I didn't get out of my car. And I drive down and I see Sam. I was like, that's Sam Hooper? I mean, you were rocking. You were rocking. I was like, okay, so tell us about these pictures here. I see the Porch Fest right here in the middle.
Yeah, well, we really had to rock it for Porch Fest because people were standing in the rain.
Yes.
So we really had to, give it our all for sure.
I'll be driving by at that point. I was in my car.
That's all right. That's all right. You caught it. The one up in the corner is me playing with my band Sam Hooper Group at Tri-C Jazz Fest outside in 2018. Below that is On the Radio with Kent and Angelica, music for your ears on 1490 AM. They have a great radio show and been very supportive of us. And also on as far as radio, me and the Whyte and Black here with Marty Poljic, Mad Cat Blue from WJCU John Carroll radio station. He just recently retired his show, but he had us on several times and was very, very supportive too. Right above that, I do a lot of work with Duffy Liturgical Dance Ensemble. So I sing and play some guitar with them. So that's at one of their shows. They're based at the University Circle United Methodist Church. So after one of the concerts there.
You are very well known around the city in many different places. And Kevin K just put a note in here and said, Sam made it rain, made in capital letters at Porch Fest. All right. Take us on this journey with these photos.
Right. Oh my goodness.
And we have, I don't know what time it is, but we're close to 7 o'clock.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me mention also the one of the threads through all that since I've been back is I've been playing back at my home church at St. James AME. So I'm there every Sunday, through the pandemic and everything. We've been there.
Okay.
We're actually we'll have our first open church
in person.
Inside will be on 4th of July. So with our new pastor, Reverend Eric Brown. So that'll be really cool. And so these pictures, oh man, you gotta have a smorgasbord here. Okay, the one up in the right is famous blues guitar player, singer Coco Montoya. We opened for him at the Beachland Ballroom. And I had met him actually out in LA at the NAMM show a few years earlier. And so that's what that picture is. And I think he had used to play with Albert Collins on tour. Right below that is part of my Rome family, Roots of American Music. And that's just things I do in the schools with the partnership with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Maltz Museum for Jewish Heritage, and with the schools. And this is at Fatima Family Center where we had done summer programs. That was one of the final performance of the summer programs. The all live music joint is at the Tin Roof on Beale Street in Memphis, Tennessee, when my band, we won the Northeast Ohio Blues Society's Blues Association's Blues Challenge in 2018, which meant we got to go that January to Memphis to compete internationally. So that's us in the first round, and then we did make it to the next round. We got to the semifinals, and we're able to play at BB King's Blues Club for the semifinals. The black and white photo is my buddy Vince Robinson, a true Renaissance man. He's a photographer, a poet, musician. he has a beautiful studio on Larchmere Arts. And so this is one of the performances he set up that we played at the women's prison downtown on, I think, 30th. So that was, we've done that a few times. It's really cool. And then in 2019, I teamed up with Mr. Herb Wilborn Jr. to play in his band. That's the bottom color photo. And that's him with the striped shirt. And we played again at the Tri-C Jazz Fest, the outdoor stage in 2019. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I saw you there. I was in the audience.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
All righty. Okay. All right. What else do we have? What other photos do we have? And I think we're coming close to the end. I didn't see the your album covers.
Ah, okay.
There they are. These are beautiful. These are beautiful.
Thank you. So All Caught Up, that was the first one that was recorded in in Nashville, Tennessee, with my buddy Jim Lightman. He and my buddy John Weston had a studio in Boston. And so Jim decided to move down to Nashville and kind of hooked me up with all the amenities, and I picked musicians out for me. So I played, that was all with studio musicians down in Nashville. And that's the CD from which I've had a couple of placements on television, on The Young and the Restless and All My Children. The other one is with Rich Glenn and Sam Hooper, with one of my co-writers who had co-written some of the songs on the first album. We did a CD featuring just the two of us with just the songs we'd written together, and we're both sharing the vocals. And then East was recorded in Shanghai. It was one recorded in Shanghai that our buddy Gordon Stevenson from Scotland helped produce, and with the trio, Kira and Jordan. And as I mentioned that I was in Shanghai in 2010 for the anniversary, Mike Null was the guy who led the house band at the time. And it turns out that his family lives here in Akron.
Oh.
So when he came here to visit, we got to hang out, and we were like, well, let's record something, you know. So that became the Hoodoo Blues CD, and which also won for best self-produced CD from the Cleveland Blues Society in that year, I think 2015.
Congratulations, that's wonderful. So
yeah, I just want to mention two things about what you're seeing here. Of course, the two live pictures were at the new House of Blues and Jazz. We played it in 2010. That's at the anniversary shows that I did. The Chinese woman I'm standing next to here is Jasmine Chen. She is a jazz singer who, you know, like there was a big community of musicians who were from China and from wherever, who we got to hang out a lot and support each other and see each other play and whatever. So Jasmine surprised me recently because it was a surprise to me. I think I was the last person to know that when I was watching the movie Crazy Rich Asians, she was singing in the band and the wedding in that movie. Yeah. And then the blind guy standing next to me, and the other one, that's D Madness from Austin, Texas. I met him in Shanghai. He and Brandon, I'm forgetting the drummer thing. Brendan, drummer, were playing at another club in Shanghai. When I put the band together to do a little southern tour, do some shows down in Texas, I picked him up, and his girlfriend was like, she didn't want to come, but she was like, okay, well, if you pick him up and take care of him, you know, I'll let him go. Okay. So I'm traveling with a blind bass player, and we're doing, you know, when we drove from Austin, Texas to Pensacola, Florida, and played Louisiana and back. And it was great. It was great. And Max, this drummer, had played with us on that trio thing as well. And then this picture is from Dan Electro's Guitar Bar in Houston, Texas. And the guy on the left is Matt Schofield. We opened for him. He's like the #1 blues guitar player in England. And
oh, nice. Wow. Wow. Well, I have a few notes here. I want to make sure because I don't think you see the chats necessarily. Um, Diener Platt, if I'm mispronouncing your name, I'm sorry.
Ruth.
Yes, love hearing. Love hearing the song and you're sharing your worldly experiences. Iris Anderson says, "What a nice treat on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I love that song. Thanks, Sam." Carmela said, "Sam, thanks for sharing your awesome story." Mariama said, "Great talk. Thanks for sharing your story, Sam." Who did I? Uh-oh, now it's popping all over the place. Roger
Soroy.
Yeah. Always good to hear and see you, Sam. You are you are an inspiration. Ravi and Lakshmi.
Up in Boston. Yes, yes.
Oh, nice.
Cleveland.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we see everybody? I think maybe you can see everybody.
I can't. No. Maybe I can do it.
Put on gallery. Put on gallery. See who's here.
Hold on. Where?
Many of your friends, near and far. Hi, everybody.
Whoa.
Yeah, yes. And I want to share with everybody before we started that Sam's
I'll switch it.
Sam's teacher from Moreland is here with us. Would you like to introduce your fifth grade teacher to us?
Byron Posdel. Yes, he is. There he is. Yes.
That's wonderful.
At Moreland School. Yes, indeed.
Yes. That's wonderful.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
He was a good student, but I don't remember him. I guess he played a clarinet at that time.
Yes.
Yeah. You were just starting out.
Yep. Awesome.
And you have a message here from Pamela Russell, says, "I got here late. What's new? Sam, we miss you."
That's the one, that outdoor picture. Pamela, you missed the picture. The outdoor picture at the rally in Boston. That was her singing.
Oh, yes, we'll get this on YouTube. So if anybody missed, it'll be available. It'll be available on YouTube.
Singer and photographer.
Yes. Anybody have any questions? I don't know if we got through all the pictures. Did we?
Oh yeah, I see the picture. Wow.
Yeah, there you are.
And we were so much younger then. We're wiser now.
Always good to have a reunion. Always good to have a reunion. Any questions, comments? I've been trying to keep up with what's been going on in the chat. This is great. So what do you have coming up, Sam? I know you're busy here in Cleveland.
Yeah, this Wednesday from 11:30 to 1:30, I'm playing with my buddy Moss Stanley down at the Perk Plaza.
Sam.
12.
Sam.
Hey, Sam.
That's Eric and Pamela. And
Yes, everybody.
And then my band, with Nightbridge, the 10-piece band I play with, we are playing 4th of July at the Music Box Supper Club down in the Flats on the water. And then Sam Hooper Group is playing the Canton Blues Festival July 10th in Canton. And then the next week, going out to the islands, out to the Middle Bass Islands to do a festival out there on the 17th of July. And then,
where can we get all of your information? Your website or your
Facebook? samhooper.com. That's the best place. Yeah, I try to keep up on Facebook. I try to keep up with all these different places, but I'm trying to keep the website first as far as the hub to find out information. Yeah, samhooper.com. And then there's links there to the YouTube channel, to the Instagram, and there's videos on there. I think I forgot to mention this to you too, Donna. There's I had done a video thing similar to this when I was in Boston, and it includes some of the footage from like the 1990 tour with Ju Ming. So you can see the countryside of China at that time and everything. So
wow, that's beautiful. And I have to say this comment from Paul Bauer, says, "Get a real job." You hippie.
Repeat after me. Happy birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday, Paul.
And Nikolai says, thanks, Sam, for being you.
There's Al up there. Hi,
Is
Al.
Foster?
Al Foster.
Hello, everyone.
Marsha?
Sam, I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
Marsha, so we can see you.
Yeah.
Marsha Melton.
Yeah.
Rhonda
Claudia
Wright.
Jackson.
Oh, where's Claudia?
Yeah. Barbara Urban.
Hi, Barbara.
Yeah. Marlena.
Right.
Makita. You see Makita? Where's her mother? There's Carolyn. Hi,
Where's she?
Carolyn.
Oh, there she is. Yeah. Yep.
I helped her get on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
This is
I
one-
needed somebody to help me get on. I couldn't find the darn link.
There's George Eaton. He's going to be our next recipient.
Yes.
Aren't you?
Hey, George. Ruth, you looking good.
Hi, Ruthie. Where are you, in New York? Oh, bless you.
That's what's wonderful about Zoom.
I'll call
Very
you.
fun.
I need to talk to you, Ruthie. I'll call you back later.
Near and far. Everybody can be at the party.
You're all really lucky because you have Sam nearby. We really miss him.
Oh, yes.
Thank you,
He's
dear.
blessed for
Thank
all
you,
of
dear.
them.
Miss you guys too, for sure.
That was Ruthie.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That's all right. Yeah.
Sam. You have taken us, and you didn't even tell us all the different places that you had been when you were traveling on the cruise ships. I'm going to just share a few places right here.
Oh, you're gonna share. Oh.
Yeah, you said you had been to Buenos Aires,
Mhm.
Argentina, the Caribbean, Portugal, England, Monte Carlo, Isle of Capri. All right.
Tunisia. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't even tell me that.
Yep.
All right. And everywhere else in the world. Just absolutely wonderful, wonderful. I'm sure that you feel that you've had a wonderful life, and thank you for sharing with us, all of your wonderful music you shared with so many people around the world. And we understand why. We really do. You are, a joy. And we have you right here in Moreland, everybody. Right here in Moreland, in Shaker Heights, Ohio. Yes, putting us on the map for sure. For sure.
Hello, hi Sam, it's Eilish. How are you, Early?
Hey, Miss Benjamin, how you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I really was just wonderful hearing all those, experiences that you had, Sam.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
How are
Donna.
you?
Thank you, John.
Oh goodness, thank you. So are your CDs still available?
Yeah, well, as far as physical CDs, the only one I really have is the Live in Shanghai.
Uh-huh.
Everything else you can get on Bandcamp.
Okay, Bandcamp. Okay.
Yeah.
So music still available.
And
And-
again, a link from the website, from samhooper.com. You can go to everything.
Okay. And Mrs. Hooper, Paul Bauer says hi to you.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Yes.
I'm going to see you very soon. You always come.
So John just posted where you can get Sam's music. We're on Bandcamp, right there in the chat. So
Eleanor Jackson.
thank you.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Drew Kirkland's down here. Drew Kirkland's down
Where's
here.
Jules?
Right there.
Yes. Thank
Hi
you.
guys, beautiful Sam. This is Eleanor, beautiful.
Hey, thank you,
Hi,
dear. Thank
Eleanor.
you. Thank you.
You could be
Hi,
here.
Mrs. Hooper.
Eleanor, is your mother? Give her our love, please.
I
Yes.
will.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And McIntyre says, wonderful musical journey. Thank you. Thank you.
That's your sister?
Yes, that's my sister.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I
my
need to hear more about that sister with all her adventures. Yes. indeed.
yes. All of you.
Sam Hooper is
Thanks,
Lydia
Monica.
Crowder
Oh,
and
you
Hiram
are.
Crowder.
Hey, Lydia, thank you. Where is she? Where is she?
Miss Hooper, hello.
Lydia. Hey, Lydia. Lydia Crowder.
It's good to hear you. Wonderful.
And we get all these artists in our area together over the summer, some way or the other, just all of the richness that we have, right here in our neighborhood, right here in Cleveland. Cleveland's a wonderful art city, it really is, and supports art for all of us to enjoy. But it's real special when we know somebody.
Sam,
Know who it
Sam?
is.
Yep.
I watched the whole your mom's whole interview. Hi, Mrs. Hooper, and I loved it. I want to get a mama hug from her. You're so lucky. She's wonderful. You're wonderful, Mrs. Hooper.
Yeah. We've heard from his mom and Paula.
Now, there is a way for others who are in our Moreland neighborhood to be my guests on Witness to History. John, if you would put up that slide, I'm always waiting. And as you mentioned, in July, our guest is going to be booked. But I'm always looking for August, September, October, November.
July is George?
July is George.
Awesome.
Get it out of the bag. George is up next month.
I know you'd do it, George. I knew you'd do it.
Okay. All right.